right? So can we turn back to the first page where we're looking at 2-1, 2-2, and 2-3? Someone walk me through what happened in 2-1 and 2-2. It, what is it?
Aerobic,
Yeah, so the engulfing prokaryote, right? It engulfed the aerobic prokaryote. Do we see, like, the aerobic we see from the top? Where it lists all our prokaryotes, that's how we know it's aerobic, right? Then what happens in 2-3? Yeah, it engulfs the photosynthetic prokaryote, right? So now let's flip back. Now we're looking at our 3-1, 3-2, and 3-3. So number 9 is asking us, what are the two organelles that the aerobic prokaryote and the photosynthetic prokaryote develop into? So which one over here is our aerobic?
The right one.
This one, right? What did that develop into? The mitochondria. Because what does aerobic mean again?
Produces energy without oxygen.
Without oxygen?
Uses oxygen to produce energy.
Yeah, it uses oxygen to produce energy, right? That's what this one can do, and that's what? It's our function of our mitochondria, right? What about our chloroplast? What did that come from? Our photosynthetic prokaryote, right? Because what does photosynthetic mean again?
It could perform photosynthesis.
There we go, yeah. So photosynthetic means that it has the ability to perform photosynthesis, right? Making its own food. So with that, we can see how these prokaryotes developed into our modern day eukaryotes. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Through like all this engulfing that we talked about. All right? So, are there questions?
No.
No? Question mark? What's confusing?
Okay, you said how the aerobic prototype turns into mitochondria, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the photosynthetic turns into chloroplast.
Mm-hmm.
So how are you getting the cytoplasm?
The cytoplasm, they're just like labeling it here. Okay, so the cytoplasm really exists here too, and it really exists here. And someone remind me, what is the cytoplasm again?
It's like the space in between all the organelles.
Yeah.
It's like the
Yeah,
liquid.
that jelly-like liquid substance, right? Awesome. Is this making sense? All right. So the key takeaways for endosymbiosis, right? Here's the evidence that this is a theory, right? But this is the evidence that allows these scientists to think, okay, like this must be true. So our modern day organelles, like our chloroplasts and our mitochondria that we just saw, like how we evolved into the modern day organelles, they have a double membrane, right? So we're seeing all this engulfing, right? When one prokaryote, which has one membrane as we know, engulfs another prokaryote, now it has a double membrane, right? So this is evidence that supports this theory of endosymbiosis, this multiple engulfing thing. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay? And mitochondria and chloroplasts, they all have their own DNA, right? If we look back at this, if we look back at 3-2, this shows us, right, our photosynthetic prokaryote, which we know evolved into our chloroplast. This guy has its own DNA, right? And our aerobic prokaryote also had its own DNA. So our mitochondria has its own DNA, right? So they also have their own ribosomes. We saw those little dots, right? They have their own, and they're somewhat autonomous. So that means that they can be independent organelles on their own. All right? Does that make sense? Okay. So this was one of the questions on the note check that was confusing some people, right? Which, like, what's evidence of endosymbiosis? And it was the double membrane, right? But these are, all of these bullet points are more evidence that support this theory of endosymbiosis, why scientists believe it to be true. Okay? All right, so today we wrapped up endosymbiosis, and we're going to be talking about our mini project that we're going to be working on throughout this week. I call it a mini project because it really is mini, and there should be plenty of time in class to get it done. Okay? Just a reminder that the lab report is due tonight. If you have any questions about it, let me know. And again, turn it in when you're done on Google Classroom just so I know that you're done with it. And today we're gonna be doing stage 1 of our mini project, and this is like, to hold you accountable, this whole project is going to be presented next Tuesday in small groups. Don't freak out, this is gonna be fun, I promise. But this is just, you know, we're working every day on a specific stage of the project, and if you don't wanna fall behind, this is a way to hold yourself accountable. You can pretend, okay, this is due tonight, okay? And start studying for our Unit 2 exam, which is going to be next Thursday.
Is it gonna be
So,
question?
Yeah.
Is it gonna be quarter one or quarter two?
which one? The Unit 2 exam? The Unit 2 exam is going to be a quarter 2 grade. The project is going to be a quarter 1 grade, along with your lab report. Okay, so those are the last 2 things that are going in: your lab report and this mini project.